Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rika Melinea Safitri. I am a class and 5 semester. And now we want to fulfill the assignment from Mr. Wahab Sahirul Alim as a lecturer of Psycholinguistics. The assignment is the summary of 1 to 5 material of psycholinguistics. And now I want to explain it. The first materials is the introduction of psycholinguistics. Psycholinguistics is the term of psychology and linguistics. Psychology is the scientific study of behavior and mental process. Psychology helps us scientifically evaluate it. Common beliefs and misconceptions about behavior and mental process. And psychology seeks to describe, explain, predict, and influence behavior and mental process. So, psycholinguistics is the study of language from a psychological perspective. The scope of psycholinguistics are acquisition and comprehension. And the second materials is language and brain compound words. Psycholinguistics is investigates the mental mechanism underlying language processing, how to preserve words and store them in the mind, how to understand a sentence, how to learn to read, how language and writing system influence mental organization. There are the identified to visual word recognition. Properties of the word visual are auditory or modality. Orthographic, whether a word is constructed in a legal way. Phonological, meaning and time course of activation of the three types of linguistic info in visual word identification. The brain is composed of neurons, nerve cells that are the basic information processing units of the nervous system. The cerebral cortex is the gray worklet mass that sits over the rest of the brain and accounts for language representations and processing. The longitudinal fissures separate the left and right hemispheres of the brain. The corpus callosum is the bundle of nerve fibers that connect the two hemispheres. And the third materials is language center. The brain is composed of neurons, nerve cells that are the basic information processing unit of the nervous system. Language is made up of socially shared rules that include the following: semantics or meaning, how to make new words, grammar, and social context. Speech is the verbal means communicating. Speech consists of the following: articulation, voice, fluency, and prosody. There are the several areas of the brain that play a critical role in speech and language. The first is Broca's area, located in left hemisphere, is associated with speech production and articulation. The second is Wernicke's area, is a critical language area in the posterior superior temporal lobe, connects to Broca's area via neural pathway. Wernicke's area is primarily involved in the comprehension. The third is the annular gyrus. It is located in close proximity to other critical brain regions such as the parietal lobe, which process tactile sensation, the occipital lobe, which involved in visual analysis, and the temporal lobe, which process sound. The fourth materials is literalization and contraliteralization. Localization is the difference of human cognitive abilities and behaviors are localized in specific part of the brain. Literalization is any cognitive function that is localized primarily in one side of the brain. The medial longitudinal fissures separate the human brain the two distinct cerebral hemispheres. Those are right hemisphere and left hemisphere. Each hemisphere specializes in different cognitive function. In right hemisphere, such as holistic reasoning, music processing or non-linguistic sounds, visuals, and spatial processing, while in left hemisphere, such as analytic reasoning, temporal ordering, arithmetic, and language processing. So, language is literalized to the left hemisphere. Contraliteralization is property of the brain such that one side of the body is controlled by the opposite hemisphere of the brain. So, right hemisphere control left side of body and visual fields, and left hemisphere controls right side of body and visual fields. The last materials is aphasia. Aphasia is a language disorder produced by brain damage. There are three kinds of aphasia. The first is broadcast aphasia. Broadcast aphasia can cause the unable to express themselves by more than a single word at the time. The content are fine, but the function word not sure. And the second is Wernicke's aphasia. Wernicke's aphasia can cause the fluent speech with no informational value and the comprehension is impaired. The place of damage of this aphasia in the temporal lobe of the left hemisphere. And the last is conduction aphasia, that not connect between broadcast area and Wernicke's area. This can cause be able understand and produce speech, but cannot repeat what they have just read. Okay, that's all from me about my explanations of the summary of 1 to 5 materials psycholinguistic. I say sorry for the any mistake, and the last I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.